Welcome to Two Readers, No Filter, a podcast for people who love books and have a lot of opinions about them. If you've ever finished a book and need to talk, you're in the right place. We're like a book club, but better. Too Little Money. I am Claire.
And I'm Cameron.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. The Too Little Money dead.
Yeah. Too Little Money.
I can't get over that.
How's your week going so far?
I've been just watching Love Island and the Stanley Cup Finals.
Witty banter. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, so Love Island and Stanley Cup Finals has been my week. What about you?
I have canceled Kindle Unlimited. I don't know if I told you that.
Oh, yeah.
So I stocked up my Kindle and threw her on airplane mode. So I'm going through my Kindle right now and like reading through a bunch of the stuff that I did. But I hate it because I always focus on like my budget or whatever. And then every single year, shocker, I'm like, I'm spending too much on books. I need to like wind this down or whatever, which I don't, but it's fine. But I'm starting to explore, instead of Kindle Unlimited, like the non-resident library cards. But the biggest issue is I have to like tour the catalog first to see like, what do you actually have? Like, what are you going to bring to the party here? Because some of them are pretty expensive. Some of them you can do like one or two and it'll be like under $100. But there's a couple of them that are like $165. And I'm like, okay, but if you're bringing a lot, like if you want me to pay that much, you better be bringing it to the table. So
better be worth it.
Yeah. But speaking of money, our topic for today is Margo's got money troubles. We're going to be evaluating not only the book, but also the new TV series that was on Apple TV. So, first of all, spoilers ahead, but I think we will be discussing the book and the show at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I think that's probably going to work best for how this was laid out.
Yeah. And just my brain.
Yeah.
So.
But before we get into the TV series, how did you read the book?
I read your physical copy.
I know. It feels so funny asking that.
I know. You're like, yep. Yeah. Physical.
I did too. But didn't you read this as you were watching it?
Yes. I read it like I started the TV show before I started the book.
Okay.
And I remember we were talking about it, and Guava was watching it too. So we were all talking about it, and you guys were saying the characters' names, and I was just like, what? Like, how is Guava remembering after one episode all these characters' names? Because my brain doesn't work like that. Like, if I'd started the book, it would have been easier to follow that way. But like, yeah, so I started the show and then started the book, which I found when I knew something was going to happen, it was just so boring, like, to read. Because I would watch the show, something would happen, and then I'd read about it. So then I started getting ahead in the book. So then I'd see it in the TV show after, which helped a lot. Okay. But I noticed like all the very tiny details while doing that.
Yeah, I feel like that is so true because every single time we go to do like the screen adaptation episodes, I always forget half of the stuff that happens. I'm like, did that happen? Or was that in a different book? Is that the other book that I'm reading? I can never remember.
Exactly. So I liked switching off. I think I'll keep doing that.
And I think the TV show actually did a really good job of taking in a lot of those random, like, small pieces.
Like, one-liners.
Yes,
I would, like...
It was very... the script was written with the book.
But then
like,
there were some things that I'm like, why'd you leave that out? Like, why'd you change... Like, there are a lot of thoughts in my head about this.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The start of the book and show. It lands you with Margo basically getting home after her baby. That's more the book side of things. And then it starts to detail the affair. What was your first reaction of like, this is how you jumped in?
So this was one way the book and TV show were different, is the way it started. Like, I feel like we got a lot of background in the book. I think I'm thinking of the book. And then the TV show, it was kind of just like, oh, you could go to Harvard, and then they sleep together, and then she's pregnant. That's what it felt like in the TV show, but in the book, it was more like drawn out, like, okay, this is what happens, but let's go back. So I didn't have time to like process like, oh, they're going on a date. Oh my God, and they're in bed and her are out. Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's just normal, like, book to show.
Yeah, like
they don't have time to kind of develop this relationship.
Yeah.
And if they're going to spend that much time on it, like, it has to be able to merit, like, the amount of money. You know what I mean? I felt similarly, except for the fact that I did not give a because I thought the professor was slimy from the beginning.
Yeah.
I did not like them. I thought their relationship was really weird. And I am so sorry for the English majors out there, but I just typically think y'all are a little bit too dramatic. Like, I love to feel the feelings and sometimes, like, you know, go out, touch grass. But I just think that you guys think that everything is monumental, and sometimes people just chose the color blue because it's the color blue rather than they're sad. So I found them to be hard to get through. Like, those pages were really hard. Not to mention, I'm going to throw this out there, the slimy professor screwed his wife's sister on the wedding night and after. That detail stuck out to me so much that I put down the book, physical copy, because I was reading my physical copy, obviously, and picked up my phone to write this down for this episode today and said instant hate. Like, this is something that, like, you are a horrible human being.
Yeah.
And you just, like, continued to, I don't know. That was the first part where I was like, Margo, hey, what if we talk?
She was getting on my nerves.
Yeah. I have a comment that I'll save until, obviously, like, our rating, but that's how this is one of those moments that comes back to my overarching feelings. But anyways, oh my gosh, I have one last thing about the professor, and then we can move on from him.
Go ahead.
The granny voice getting a glass of water. This is giving me the ick. This is like, ew.
I know. I remember that.
That was harder to read than a book that's like, oh, kitten.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't do that. No.
Oh my God. No.
For those of you who didn't read the book, I forget what it was, but it was after one of their sexual intercourses. And she was like, I'm going to go get a glass of water. Like, do you want any? And did he ask her to do this, or did she just do it?
Did he do the voice and then she did it?
Maybe.
Like,
I don't know. But one of them looked at the other and was like, Granny would love a glass of water.
So
like,
weird.
It's just so weird. I hated that.
No.
Off the bat, I was just like, I don't think I relate to you on any level.
Oh my God.
Ever.
Ugh.
Gross. Anyways.
Ugh. They're disgusting.
I guess getting away from the professor. Let's get away from the professor because gross.
Yeah.
Margo comes home with a baby, and in the book, she had a huge gap of support, which I think the show did kind of a good job on that.
Like, the mom and, like, that, like, they were, like, two totally different characters.
I completely agree.
Same with Kenny.
Yes, in the show versus the book, they were extremely different.
So different.
I will say, I feel like we didn't really meet her roommates until she was in the show. She came home from pregnancy tests, like, knowing that she was pregnant. That's when we kind of met the roommates.
Yeah.
But I feel like in the book, it kind of skipped forward, and we met the roommates when Bodhi was home.
Yeah.
So initial reaction for roommates for me, loved Susie. She is so weird, but she owns it. And I love how she, like, low-key has, like, this admin job where she has to show up and, like, be very professional and this and that. And then when she comes home, she's like, I cosplay, like, a lot.
Yeah.
All the time, actually.
Yeah.
Love that for her.
She's so cute.
The other two roommates, I think they were both cats.
Yeah. They call it was
Big
smaller
cat.
Yeah, like,
I don't know.
In the book, but in the show,
they were just
Catherine
irrelevant.
and Katie or something like that.
It was irrelevant. It didn't matter. But I found it so, in the book, it all clashed together at the same time, where she lost her job because she couldn't find care for Bodhi, and her mom wouldn't take care of Bodhi. And every time her mom picked up Bodhi would cry. And so she lost her job. Then she came home. Her roommates told them that, you know, we're moving out. So then she had to figure that out. She had no money. I felt bad at that point where I was like, this is why people really think about having a kid, is because it changes everything in a moment.
Yeah. But I wrote down a whole rant about this.
Oh no.
Because in the show it was pissing me off more than in the book, how she was like feeling so sorry for herself and her roommates, like, why aren't they treating me good? Like, I have a baby to take care of. And I'm like, let's step back for 1 second. You had an option. No one forced you to have this child. I know it would be hard to abort a child. Yeah. I get that. But she's like playing victim, like when her roommates are coming in being like, I have a test. Can you please try it? Like, I have a really big exam. Like, I know that seems from like Margo's perspective, but it's like they did not agree to be roommates with you plus a child. They did not come into college thinking this.
Yeah, I'm so intrigued that never came up in like the book show, whatever.
Yeah.
I guess there are, like, if I was thinking about my college self and everything like that, I do think that I would have been like, you want to know what? Never mind. It doesn't need to be a conversation. I'm just going to move out. So yes, I think what happened probably makes sense, but I just think that would have been a conversation of like, so are you going to live here with the baby?
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
You had 9 months to talk about this.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, why are you like, I don't know. That was really annoying me. Because if it was me, I would try everything to get out of there because I wouldn't want to be an inconvenience to them. Like, I'm deciding to keep this baby. I got myself knocked up in a stupid situation. I'm going to like figure this out and not just be like, la 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 la. Like, I'm just going to live my life. I'm going to go back to college. Like, hello? Do you not realize?
I'm going to throw out there a different perspective. In the book, I agree with you. In the show, they're the ones that threw the baby shower. They're the ones that seemed like almost supportive. So I feel like in the show, they could have put up this front of like, no, we're going to like, girl power, da, 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 whatever. We're going to help you through it. And I feel like they didn't carry on that.
Yeah.
Because in the book, the really, really mean girl that she worked with, Tess or something, she hosted the baby shower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I feel like in the show, it made it seem more kumbaya, we accept your decision, and they like were okay with it. But in the book, I would have been like, hey, roommate meeting, what's going on?
Yeah.
You're carrying an extra person in there.
I mean, I feel like regardless, there should have been some conversations about, like, even if they are throwing the baby shower, like, that doesn't mean like, oh yeah, let's have a child live with us. Like, I'm totally down for that and continue. Like, that was just really annoying me, how she was like, wow. Like, girl, you didn't have to do this.
Yeah. This is, again, one of those moments that I'll come back to at the rating. But anyways, what did you think about her days of early motherhood when she was alone and had that gap? Was she ready?
I mean, how can anyone be ready for the first time? That's like my thing is like, when I have kids, like if I have kids, how do you know you're going to be like, there's not, like she kept saying like, there's not a rule book to follow. There was like one analogy she used when it's like, you study this whole like book of stuff for your science test.
Yep.
And you come and you still feel unprepared because, oh, this wasn't in the manual. Like, that's how it is. So I'm like, even if she was older, I don't think it would have been much different. It's just the support with it. Like if she had a significant other, like, I don't know.
To me, it's actually, I've always said I would never have a baby without a village.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that she developed the village because you have to, but I think it's a lot easier for someone to be the best version of themselves when they have a village already there to be able to depend on. Because I think Cheyenne, she said very early on, especially in the book and the TV show, she said, I want nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Which, first of all, crazy pull. Nothing?
Mm-hmm.
It's your grandson. Yeah. Nothing? I don't know. I didn't fully... I know that TV show mom and book mom are two separate people, but I do think that there were a lot of times that I was like, I don't get you, girl. I just don't get you, but okay.
Like, I understand having boundaries, being like, I'm not its nanny. Like, don't treat me like your nanny, but I want to be involved. Like, that's fair. But
I also understand drawing the line at financial.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to...
I got you a gift of like a in the TV show she did the stroller, which that wasn't true in the book, but I digress. But I would even understand of like, hey, I'm getting you this gift because I know that's something really great for you and Bodhi, but like, don't ask me for money.
Mm-mm.
I made that clear in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm here to bail you out as your mom, because I feel like in the TV show, they had that relationship where like, if Margo really needed her, her mom showed up.
Yeah.
In the book, she was like,
Mm-mm.
yeah, that sucks. Talk to you next time.
She was like barely in the book. I feel like she was like mentioned here and there, like, oh, Cheyenne did this. Cheyenne's not helping me. Okay, moving on.
I didn't like book Cheyenne.
I didn't like.
I didn't like her at all.
Kenny too.
Kenny, I didn't understand what Cheyenne was trying to get from it. I understand, well, like the relationship between her and Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't fully understand what she was looking for. I understand she wanted stability, but I think you could have found stability without finding a man of God that's like that incredible, where Cheyenne's not even herself anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think part of the problem was, you know, she thought that nobody would ever like love her like Jinx or whatever, but he doesn't love you then either. Yeah. Because you're not showing your true colors. So exactly. I don't know. It didn't sit right with me. Mm-mm. Where it feels like one of those relationships that you have in family where you don't agree with their situation, but you love them, so you just kind of have to sit in it.
Yeah.
That's how I felt in this book.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I mean, I guess you do what you want to do, but this is dumb.
Mm-hmm. I was not a fan of book Cheyenne and Kenny.
Mm-mm.
Did not like that at all.
Mm-mm. Which, speaking of the lack of financial help from Cheyenne and everything going on with babysitters, Margo reached out to Mark.
Mm-hmm.
And then this started the whole NDA process.
Yep.
Which I think in the book, she called him and he never responded. And then his mom came into it.
Yep.
Instead of in the TV show, she met him in his office and had like a full confrontation of like, this is your son.
Yeah.
Don't you want to help take care of him?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts about how that was done and kind of the whole NDA as a whole?
I kind of think like, I don't really have any thoughts about it either way, like based on like which one was better, how it was done. Like, I mean, whatever. She got her money and I would have done it too.
She got her money in the book, not in the show.
Not the show, right.
Yeah.
I was like, did I miss that? But I thought it was just the trust fund thing. Or like, they get the, 30,000 or whatever in the show, and then they like invest it. And then she gets the money when he turns 18.
Yeah. So in the book, they said, we'll give you $15,000 now to get you out of the situation. And then they'll give him, I think it was a certain amount of money, like $15,000 that they were going to put into mutual funds.
Yeah.
Which and then it was going to be
$300,000
eventually, and it will be vested to him when he was 18.
Yeah. But it was just that part in the show, not the 15.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was not the $15,000 where in my head, I was kind of like, none of this is adding up financially. I think it would have, it didn't make sense to me why the show didn't include the $15,000.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't impact the story that much. If anything, I was
really
confused
true.
on how she was able to make rent.
Yeah.
Because it didn't seem like Jinx was paying when Jinx came into the story.
But like in the book, she used that $15,000 to get started with everything else. But like it didn't add anything to the show. It was just kind of like, okay.
I mean, it increased her struggle, but also at the same time, I mean, she was already down in the dumps. Yeah, so I don't think we got it.
So that was interesting.
Yeah. But I do think that that's a great intro for Jinx.
My favorite character.
Really?
Yes. Well, it's hard to separate Nick Offerman and Jinx because I just love Nick Offerman.
Yeah. But in my head, he will always be Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's Ron Swanson.
100%.
I don't know who Nick is.
Who's Nick?
I don't know.
Even in the book, I loved him. I just thought he was so like, I mean, you know, besides the drug addict stuff, but he was like, I went to rehab, and he was like wholesome. He was like, oh, Bodhi, like I want to take care, and scrubbing the bathroom and meditating and stuff. And I was just like, I don't know. I loved him.
In the book, I remember when Jinx came into the picture, I was like, this is so perfect in the fact that he is not perfect.
Yeah.
Margo's not perfect. None of them are this, I don't know, clear cut square. Like they are 100% themselves and just like so silly and funny in their own ways and quirky that I was like, yeah, that makes sense that he's gonna be a part of this village.
Yeah,
like that checks out.
It adds up. Yeah.
I think that in the TV show it was a little weird that Susie was into the wrestling before.
I was going to
Jinx
ask how you
felt
there. About that.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was needed.
It did.
I think that it almost added to their relationship in the book.
Yes,
that she had nothing to do with the wrestling,
and then she got into it.
And then she got into it with him.
I agree. I like that better. I think
that.
The only thing that made it better is when he like in the show is when he showed up and Susie was like, "Oh my god!" That was the only good part also, from that.
No, because why didn't Margo say anything?
Yeah, because she did walk weird. In on
she
her.
She knew all the time that Susie was watching these and being like, hee hee hee.
Yeah, that is true.
And you just didn't be like, oh yeah, that's my dad.
Yeah. But the way he showed up in the book versus the show was a lot different because he went to Cheyenne first and met Kenny and knew they had just gotten engaged. And then he went to Margo's. But he didn't know about any of the Kenny, and I thought that was interesting.
I wasn't surprised that they were pushing the relationship more in the show.
Yeah.
I think that it made sense for a bunch of different reasons. I think it also made sense because they got expensive people in the cast.
Yeah.
So I think that
it was kind of loaded.
Yeah.
It was good.
I know. I was really happy with the cast actually. Yeah. But I think that because they had so many people that like it, they wanted to make it worth their money, and so they wanted them in as many scenes as they could to like kind of even this out instead of, like we said in the book, Cheyenne just kind of like appears and then disappears.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the introduction of Jinx, I feel like we started to build like this little village, and then they were watching all the professional wrestling, which made me laugh so hard that like they're trying their best to do what they can, and that this was on in the background. And I found it so interesting in the book how they talked about the development versus the platform that we'll be discussing on this podcast. We will now call it OF.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so that we don't get cut. But I thought it was really interesting the way that they talked about OF in the book and how she got into it was extremely different than how she did it in the show.
Yes.
And I understand a book can slow burn a little bit, but also like, I don't know, it was only 290 pages.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? It was pretty short.
It was under 300.
Yeah. So, I mean, every page matters. So, but what did you think about that? Like the build up to OF?
I think I liked it. I don't know which one I liked better, honestly, like how they did it. But I mean, first of all, before I even get into OF,
oh no,
her boobs were out.
Yep.
Like, okay, Jinx had just shown up the night before, or even maybe it was that night. I don't know. She just whips her boob out. Yeah. And like I understand it's a natural thing, but it's like in front of my father. I'm not just gonna. I thought that was weird how she just kept doing that. In the book, she did say, she was like, "Oh, I thought it'd be weird, but it wasn't." But in the show, she was just like, whatever. Yeah. And I was like, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak because I have not been a mother, but I thought that was weird. But then I just thought of that because when she was like standing in the mirror and then squeezed her boob and the milk came out, and then she's like, people would pay to see this, and I was like,
yeah.
And I thought she was gonna do something with like selling the milk, but I was surprised she did not go that far to be like, send me $400 tip and I'll send you the milk.
Oh,
I thought she was going to do something with that.
I did not thought you, wow. I thought you meant like, you know how people can have that as a side gig and they sell their extra milk and stuff like that. Cause I know like, I had a friend that donated cause she was just like an overproducer. And she was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So she donated, but, I did not think about that.
I was surprised she didn't go that far, but
yeah. I liked it better in the book because I think she found that people can be fascinating.
Yeah.
And like, I think it developed the persona thing a lot more because I think in the show, they really jumped into her like writing all these stories and this and the other. And I kind of think she was more like, in the book, she was more like literary, not developing like these fantasy worlds and this and
Mm-hmm.
the other. She was a little bit more looking on the structure of life and how to examine it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just found it like more intriguing on how she kept seeing the power of OF and the power of developing a persona, because that was her biggest struggle when she started.
Mm-hmm.
She was just like, oh, it's sexual.
Yeah.
You know, send me your picture, wink, wink,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you what Pokemon it is.
Yeah.
Come and see my boobs. Like, it's not that, though. They want to be, like, they want to have that relationship.
Mm-hmm. That's why I like the whole JB thing.
Oh, we're going to disagree. Hated it.
I
hated it.
I kind of like how she... No. I'm more so thinking about the ending. How it was like, okay, like this is a weird romantic relationship. Mm-hmm. Like, we have oddly gotten into this, but then it was like something actually came out of it that was like, oh, she's like actually making a life. Whereas like in the show, it was just, I mean, I'm jumping forward, but it was
here's
like...
my poon.
Yeah, here's my vagine.
Ew, I know. They kept saying that in the book.
Yeah, so it was like she had more of a future.
No, I did really like that piece of it in the book, but I almost wish she just came upon it on herself.
Yeah.
Of saying like, you know, these people are making a really good amount of money, Casey and Rose, but they're missing something. Mm-hmm. I could be that something. I could charge for this. I could be a consultant. I could, you know, develop these personas and still be fun and still everything. So I thought JB was unnecessary. I'm going to say right now, didn't like it. I thought it was weird. I'm not saying that online relationships aren't like valid or anything like that. I think that they are completely, especially in today's world, we're so interconnected. But I just think that all of it felt icky to me.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he found her and then sent her a question and this like started this. And then he had the audacity to say that like, you weren't real. No, it's a whole profile. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that it was, I don't know, it's like you expecting someone to be like this real person or whatever in a world full of catfish. Like, read the signs.
Yeah.
You know? And anyways, I just think that the whole JB thing, I didn't really love it. And I felt so bad that he kept sending her money.
I know.
That was... Like, this is not a relationship then. Yeah. And she should have noticed that a lot longer and been like, hey, no, I wanted to let you know, like, hey, I don't need the money anymore, but I do want to keep chatting with you. But I want to get to know you for you. Mm-hmm. Like, we should meet up.
Yeah.
How hard is that, Margo? You're already making so many other impulsive decisions. Meeting a boy? Is that impulsive?
No.
I didn't like it at all. Yeah. I really didn't. But I actually was very surprised they did not put JB in the show at all.
I know. That's what, like,
I kept waiting. I was like, is this going to be dramatic effect?
There was like that one nod to it at the end when the person who subscribed to her VIP account for her poon.
Uh-huh.
And the person who sent it, the initials were JB.
Oh.
That was the only nod.
I didn't even see that.
They had to it. But yeah, I thought it was in like, I don't really feel strongly besides the fact that they were actually coming up with something in the end for like a business idea.
Yeah.
I liked how it was like, oh, she'll like start something like, not that OF is like not a real job, but like, you know, like there's more to do with something else. Like,
yeah.
So I liked that aspect.
I think it's more pursuing the passion of what she developed her OF like, to be. Like she liked being this person. She liked developing the personas. And I think it's more what you're saying is it's digging deeper into the pieces that she liked rather than just
you know, poon.
Yeah.
But you know, I think you're right in that JB doesn't really add anything.
I just don't know why we have to bring a man into it all the time to have something in there. I just don't know why we had to bring a man into it. This is a story about a girl trying to figure out her life.
Yeah.
And the only reason she got to like the idea is because a man pointed it out.
That's
like
true.
I don't know. It just felt very like, did you just want a scene in here? Like, did you just want to get like the clout of some smut?
I think so.
I don't know. A lot of this book didn't sit right with me. It didn't. Anyways, the whole NDA thing, to jump back to that for 1 second, I thought it was crazy in the fact that I knew it was coming because he had to be a professor with some type of something. You know, I knew that there was going to be something there. And I just thought it was so funny how his mom handled it and how Margo just signed it, no thoughts.
I know.
And I was like, no, at least read it. Because I think she said in the book, I didn't even read it. I just signed off.
She's like, sounds good.
Which in the book, I think she has more merit to that because she's getting the $15,000.
Yes, exactly.
So she's looking at it and she's saying, okay, $15,000 or no roof over my kid's head. Signed.
Like,
but in the TV show, you could have taken a beat, Margo. You could have been like, I'll review it.
Yeah.
That's a power move.
Yeah. God, his mom. And
she played it great though.
She
the actress,
did.
I don't know who that is. She looks really familiar, but I don't know who that is. But I was like, you were exactly what I pictured.
Yeah, I liked the actress. But like the mother son, like that, I am so passionate about like boy moms and like how they just like take over. They don't let them learn how to do anything and become their own person. It's like, oh, I'll handle it, sweetie. Oh, my mom's got this. My mom's gonna make my doctor's appointment.
You can't acknowledge the fact that your son's a perv. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, because in the show she kept saying like, your daughter preyed upon my son.
I'm gonna go back to the first thought that I had when we discussed this book. He slept with her sister on the wedding night and continued after.
Mm-hmm.
His wife's sister.
Yep.
Piece of shit. That's what that is.
Was that a thing in the show?
No.
Okay.
Because I was like, you wouldn't have redeemed yourself if this was in there. Every single person would have wrote him off right then and there. Which, wait, I don't know why I didn't say this before when we were talking about the professor, but I have to say it now. Sky High?
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen him in so long, and I literally was sitting there looking at him being like, you're so familiar. Oh my God.
Guava clocked it immediately. And he was like, oh, that's the guy from Sky High. And I don't remember anything about Sky High. Like, that's just like a figment of my imagination. Like, I don't know. So I was like, I don't know. Like, look it up. And he's like, yeah, he's on Sky High. And I'm like, okay,
sure,
yeah. I don't remember this man, but yeah. But yeah, that was funny. And but when Guava and I were watching it, he's like, why are her boobs out like the entire time? I said, well, it's an A24 film.
Yeah.
Or production, whatever you want to call it. Like A24 is just known for being
like
so
HBO-y.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And what was the other? There was that one like tennis movie.
Challengers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't that A24?
I don't know.
Because that was like kind of like that. But yeah, he was like, why are her boobs out the entire time? And I was like,
well, yeah.
They're out more before OF than they were during.
And I think something I was going to say too with the whole breastfeeding thing is I think that you get comfortable to a point that it doesn't seem as weird to you because that's your daily life. You know what I mean? So I think that that's something that I thought was funny. But it did make me question the use of prosthetics.
Yes.
Like, she looked so pregnant and she looks like her body changed a lot. Yeah. I was very impressed by that. And I have no idea how they did it. I was sitting there and I was like, oh, okay, her boobs look like in the beginning. I was like, oh, her boobs look like adequate for her size. But in the book, she talks about how they're like monster big. And so I was like, I wonder how they're going to portray that. And then I remember there was one scene and I was like, fair point.
Yeah.
They are large and in charge. You did a good job.
Good job, guys.
But also, how'd you do that?
I know, it looked really natural.
Yes.
It was very
even when she was laying down like in her bed with her pregnant stomach and everything, and it was completely off. I was like, wow, you guys really committed to the bit.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I know.
That was crazy.
That was impressive.
I have no idea how they did it.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. So.
Anyways, but with the platform of OF and everything, we had two very different reactions from Jinx and from Cheyenne.
Yeah.
What did you think about those reactions? And considering that it was book and...
So I think they were kind of similar in the book and the show. Like Jinx was like the same in both. And then Cheyenne, that came about way different in the show because they were in Vegas.
Yeah, when she wasn't even invited to the wedding anymore.
Yeah.
In the book.
Exactly. So like that was like completely different. And as we said, they're like different characters. But I think Cheyenne, like, that was just pissing me off because, you know, she did work at Hooters. She was a struggling parent. She should understand, but I think it was just she's taking out her insecurities, obviously, on Margo. I forgot. I was going to say Elle Fanning.
Poor Elle.
Poor Elle. But, like, Jinx, like, I thought it got a little weird. Him being so involved in the OF stuff. Yeah. I was like, okay, like, there were some boundaries, but I feel like there were more boundaries in the show than the book. But I liked how supportive he was, because he was like, I understand, and we're all just trying to put on a show. That's all. Like, we're all trying to do that, because I was a wrestling just putting on a show. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But no. What about you?
I was really disappointed in Jinx's reaction.
Like, his initial
reaction. Yeah. And then when he came back, I was like, that's the type of parent I aspire to be one day.
Yeah.
Is to be able to say, look, it's your life, and if you think that this is right for you, then this is right for you. I will be there to support you no matter what.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, I just, when he had that secondary reaction rather than like the initial reaction, I was like, damn, that's a parent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Of like, I'm going to be here ups and downs. It's kind of like what I said before of you may not agree with the person's decision, but you do have to like live in it.
Yeah.
And so I thought he did a really good job with that. And I was like, thank God somebody in her life is just going to be like, listen, we got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because I also think that like he can't sit on a high horse like Cheyenne is sitting on a high horse, because she worked at Hooters and he did professional wrestling. That's literally the whole thing.
Yeah.
You have this whole persona that you just have to completely commit to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really impressed with that. Cheyenne, like you said in the book, it was different because where did she tell her in the book? Oh, they were shopping. That's what it was. Okay, so when they were shopping for Cheyenne's wedding dress or whatever, she told her it went really poorly. And then she said, oh, like, I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
And that's what happened in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being like, oh, okay, whatever. That makes sense to me. It didn't make sense to me, Cheyenne's reaction, but it made sense to me that she like had this big reaction and Margo was like, I'll quit.
Yeah.
Because like, that's what kids do. But in the book or in the TV show, I thought it was so much more fun that they did go to Vegas.
Yes.
Because you were able to see that Cheyenne has this different personality and that she is struggling with the decision.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that I was sad that the book had and the TV show took away was the fact that Jinx went to Cheyenne first.
Yeah.
With flowers and like wanted to get her back. And you didn't see that, but I feel like you did see it in Vegas when they were out doing pool, like playing pool with Bodhi and everything. And I really loved getting to see that side of Cheyenne, because I feel like, again, in the book, you just heard the random things of like, oh no, mommy doesn't drink. Haha, good joke.
Yeah.
Oh no, mommy doesn't gamble. Like, you know, haha, good joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I did like the whole Vegas scene or show episode, whatever. And Jinx being there too, and like him watching the wedding from outside.
Oh, that hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Yeah. Poor guy.
And I did feel bad because I think that like Cheyenne definitely should have given him a little bit more space, but I know she just didn't want to be hurt by him again.
Yeah.
And I get that, but I just think that like Kenny's obviously not your match.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why are you doing this?
But I guess one thing they didn't have in the book was they went to the wrestling convention thing in the show, and that's how he hurt his back.
Yeah, in the book he hurt his back by stretching with Bodhi.
Yeah.
Like he was picking up Bodhi and he goes, Margo, grab the baby right now.
Yeah.
Margo was like, what?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm spazzing, I'm going down.
Mm-hmm.
I will throw out there, kind of transitioning into Jinx and him getting hospitalized and the start of like the drugs coming into the story. I knew right off the bat, as soon as he said, hey, I'm an addict, like, let's not say anything to the doctor. I was like, this is a relapse.
Yep.
Because unfortunately, I do have some stuff in my family. And so, like, I feel like I saw the signs so early on. And, like, all those little clues that add up, I was like, crap.
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah. The scene where he... Because did he technically overdose in the show?
I just remember being stressed because Margo was trapped underneath him in the bathtub, and I was like, "Oh, Margo down!"
That whole scene. I think it's just because I'm on my period this week made me so emotional.
Yeah, it was hard to watch.
Like seeing her, having to see her dad like that, because then I just like put myself in her shoes, and I'm like, oh my God. And then like having a child in the other room, like that was just like, I don't know, I liked it a lot better in the show than the book, because the book, it was like, I was just in a good mood, I was in a good place, like we'll figure it out. And I was like, no, this is kind of serious, guys, like let's.
Well, yeah, that pissed me off in the book where she like downplayed it.
Yeah.
She didn't even tell Susie, and I really appreciated in the show, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I knew, like, Susie was like, this is a big deal, he needs to go.
Yes. Yeah, you have to kick him out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because in the show, or in the book, she didn't kick him out.
Yeah. No, she was like,
he
we'll figure it
stayed.
out.
Exactly. And they wanted to figure it out together. And then all this custody stuff came up, and like it impacted at the same time.
Yeah.
And so it was horrible timing. And again, I don't mean to sound rude, bad choices.
Yeah.
I loved in the show that Susie was like, listen, I love you so much, but this is not sustainable. And your son was there.
Oh my God. Yeah. And when Jinx came back and was like, Susie, I'm here for you, she's like, no, Margo's not here. He's like, I just want to be like, I can count on you as a friend, right? And I was like, oh my God,
that hurt. And
Susie,
I loved that Susie was like, you should go.
Yes.
Because there are, especially in relationships like that, you have to develop boundaries of where you can support and where you like, where that support stops.
Yeah.
And I think they actually did a really good job of portraying that from my own personal experience with things of that nature. I think they did. And it hurts on both sides. Like it hurts to put that boundary down. It hurts to tell you, I can't right now.
Yeah.
You really scared me, because that's something that I think sometimes on the other side, they don't see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I had to pick you up off the floor. That scared me. So
I just loved their relationship.
I loved Susie and Jinx's relationship. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that Jinx and Margo, like they had a different type of relationship because again, I think she was still like healing that father piece.
Yeah.
And so I think it was different, but I liked it too.
Yeah.
But I really loved when Jinx was like, "Oh, I'd kill him for you." Or something like that.
I burned
Margo,
yeah.
And Margo was like, "Oh,
yeah."
And I'm like, everyone deserves to be loved that way.
I know.
And it's so funny because sometimes we forget in the fact of like, Margo felt so loved to feel that, but she feels that to Bodhi. So like, wouldn't you know?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But it's good to hear that.
Yeah, definitely.
But I gotta tell you, when I read in the book, because I read the book first and then did the show, so I knew going into the show what was probably going to happen. But when I read in the book that they both got served with the restraining order and then the custody, and it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then he said, I saw him. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be the end of their relationship. Margo was very forgiving there.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked at that.
I was flabbergasted.
Yeah. And that was a lot different in the show because they showed Jinx going to him and actually breaking his hand. And it's like, I feel like that would have been interesting to read. In the
book, he just called him. Yeah. There was no broken
and he was
hand.
Just high.
There was nothing, anything. He was high and basically saying like, leaving voicemails being like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. So like, still bad. I'm not downplaying that. But he didn't actually put hands on him.
Yeah.
I did find it weird in the TV show how they developed, they did it 2 separate times.
Yeah.
Like there was one delivery and it was the restraining order. And then the second one was the custody battle. I think that it made sense for the changes that they did in the show. But also at the same time, I thought it was a bigger shock in the book. Again, obviously it was initial shock for me too. Getting both.
Yeah.
Because they got restraining order and a custody battle. For a second, it didn't click for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is he restraining order Margo? Margo only talked to him once. She's keeping the NDA. She's making sure that she's not talking to him, this, that, the other. And then it clicked for me and I was like, absolutely not. I would not be able to forgive Jinx.
Yeah. And it was tough.
Because obviously, spoiler alert, that like she got custody of Bodhi.
Yeah.
But if that landed any other way, goodbye. I lost my kid because of you. Yeah. You know? Which brings up the custody battle. The custody battle is basically prompted because of the viral relationship with her, Rose, and Casey. And so they started to develop something together. With that viral video that they did, she basically got outed.
Yeah.
And so that's why Mark initially did it in the show. But anyways, I knew when she went to work with Casey and Rose, when she went on the podcast and they were like, you have to drink the mushroom tea.
Yeah.
I knew there was a drug test coming.
I know. Same.
And in my head, I was like, why wouldn't you have pretended to sip it?
Yeah.
And then, like, once they're high, dispose of it casually.
It's so easy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but that's because I'm biased. I've never really done anything like that before. So I think that I'm biased in the fact that, like, when people offer me a drink 5 times, I get frustrated at that point. And I'm like, I said no.
Yeah.
Like, I'm secure in it. I'm good.
Yeah.
If you feel insecure to be drunk around me, I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like she was probably just, wants to impress them. And she's 19 in the book.
Yes.
But how's she going? She had to have been older in the show.
Yeah,
Vegas.
21.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think 21 versus 19, like, it's not that big of a gap, but I feel like there's a big difference.
So much happens during those years. It's very,
like,
developmental.
So I thought that was interesting. But, yeah, the shrooms, I knew something was going to come up with the... Yeah. And then it was like, you had a negative drug test, but we want to get a second one. I was like, shut up. Shut up. Like, what do you need? I know.
That made me really frustrated as well.
And, yeah, I mean, the whole, like, what was it? Was it methadone?
Methadone,
yeah.
I think.
That whole, like, CPS worker girl pissed me off.
Well, the CPS worker girl pissed me off because she just was, I don't know, like, super judgmental, which I do think CPS is judgmental like that.
I mean, yeah.
So it checks out, but it was just so frustrating in the fact that, like, sometimes you're able to come in and read a situation very well, very quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just think that the whole CPS thing was handled so wrong.
Yeah.
Like, it is your stereotypical someone in a place of power abusing that power.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have said what you said of, like, I'm going to take him right now if you don't let me in then.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a power play, and you're so annoying for that. Like, shut up. You know? Like, it made me so mad when everything with that was going down. But I did think it was so smart that Margo was, like, trying to do the best that she could, and then all she had to say and all she could do was just say, okay, then let's do it. Like, what do you need?
Yeah.
And they were like, carry out your normal daily routine or whatever. And she was like, okay, then I guess we're doing dinner and bath.
Yeah.
You know? So I do think she handled it properly, but I gotta talk about it. I knew it was Cheyenne and Kenny that sent it. Oh my God, 100%. And I was so frustrated because I knew that it was like this payback, because in the book, especially in the TV show, I didn't think so.
Because Kenny seemed so, like, meh. And Cheyenne, like, in the show, I feel like it wasn't as obvious. But in the book, I could see that.
I agree. Because I think that in the book, like, they were such jerks to her. They completely cut her out.
Yeah.
She didn't even go to her mom's wedding because her mom found out that the video went viral and everybody knew it was Margo who was in the video.
It made
I forget
sense.
the term that they say, like, where you get tagged or whatever. Like,
doxed.
Yes. Doxed.
Yep.
She got doxed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that, like, it made sense to me in the book that that was who it was.
100%.
But could you imagine calling CPS on your child?
That's crazy. Literally crazy. I can't.
Also, wouldn't you get involved a little bit more before you call?
Yeah,
like, wouldn't you try to, like, if this truly was just about the child, wouldn't you try to get involved?
You'd think.
And be like, hey, maybe I can hang out and, like, watch him or whatever, to be able to actually assess if this is something that needs to happen.
Like, that's
because here's the thing that killed me was Cheyenne was not involved at all, and she only agreed with the CPS thing because it appeased Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you selfish baboon. Yeah. What are you doing?
She pissed me off in the book.
Yeah. I want you to know, I have no idea how they came back together and everything in the book. I don't even remember that.
Did they?
I don't know, but I would have never.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm going to be honest with you.
No.
And if it was done in the show, I would have said, I am so sorry to do this to your mom, but it's me or Kenny.
Yeah.
I can't have that type of stuff being gone. Like, that was insane to me.
Like that.
She's already going through a custody battle, and you're putting this on
Exactly.
her at the same time?
Exactly. Oh, it's so
crazy.
Insane.
Which I felt so bad for her when she was going through the eval and everything.
Yeah.
And she was like, I know I'm crazy about this, and that's okay, but you know, my lawyer told me to be honest, so I'm just trying to be honest.
Yeah.
That killed me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
I know. I liked how it went through it. Obviously, they couldn't do this in the show. And I'm glad they didn't do it in the show where they went in depth, like, into the eval of, like, this is a safe home. Yeah. She is psychologically fit to be a mother. Yeah. Like, the space is fine. And, like, it just made me feel better for her. Like, she's not down in the dumps anymore. And then I feel like Mark took it well. And, like, it went much smoother. And then in the show, they obviously went to court.
Yeah, and I really appreciated that she went to Mark.
Yeah.
In the book.
Yes.
At his house.
Yes.
And came in and said, do you really think this?
Mm-hmm.
Like truly. I need to know. Because I think that his claims of her being an unfit mother, I think that from the outside and at the beginning, I think it was fair of him. He didn't know the situation, this, that, the other. And so he was like, I don't know, she's probably an unfit mother.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think a little bit of that was probably his mom on top of it? Yes.
Yeah.
However, I do think that that was a valid argument.
Yeah.
Having a drug addict and a violent man in the home with your son, I also think that was a valid argument. But once you got to know her, and know how, like, Bodhi reacts with her and interacts with her and everything like that, game over, big dog.
Yeah.
Like, just throw it out the window.
But I'm just like, you didn't care to even be involved in his life. And, like, no ounce of you wanted to get to know Bodhi. And now you're like, oh, I want full So, yeah, it's his mom.
I think it's ridiculous. And I think it's crazy that they can just choose at any point to be. And that was a line that was actually in the book and in the TV show because it was so important. He's still his father in 15 years, or he's still his father right now.
Yeah.
Like, he still has rights.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, he was literally saying, oh, I'll make an appointment for Planned Parenthood. Like,
yeah, abortion.
Get an abortion. Like, you didn't even want it. Yeah. So why are you here now saying, give me the baby? She's unfit. Why do you care now?
Yeah.
Like, come on. So ridiculous.
Yeah. It is so ridiculous. And I found it in the book, it was very high stakes. There were so many hoops that she had to jump through. And then in the TV show, the one thing that I really hated on how they did the mediation and everything was when Margo launched herself again across the table. I was like, she just lost it. And to me, that wasn't believable. Yeah. Like, why did you do that? Because if she lost it, she probably wouldn't have won.
Yeah.
So to me, when they made that choice, I was pretty angry.
Yeah,
I was so proud of her. As much as you can say Margo was impulsive, this, that, the other, how she handled the actual mediation and all of the custody battle and everything in the book, she did the best that she truly could.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so proud of her. Yeah. So them making that decision in the show, I will never forget.
I liked me really angry. The court scene. I liked
thoughts on that.
I honestly really liked that scene, like, especially with Cheyenne holding Bodhi and him not sobbing. I was like, this is like a very powerful scene. So I like that they had that, but I didn't like how she kind of like lost it.
Yeah.
And pounced on him, basically.
I didn't love the court scene at all, in the fact that in my head, again, it was just not believable.
Yeah.
Like, no judge, from my perspective and from my experience. Now, let's be very clear. I have never really gotten to a kerfuffle with Lady Law. So maybe I'm naive here. But in my experience, it would never be like that. The judge walking around and being like, stand up.
Yeah.
Stand up.
I did think that
like, it was a weird power complex thing, whatever. And it was just so incredibly weird for like that interaction. And I also think that no judge would have done that.
Yeah.
Do I love that they had that test of, you know, hold the baby, let me see the interaction with the baby? I loved it.
Yeah.
However, no judge would have done
that.
Because in the book, I believe it was the psych eval person that said that. When Bodhi looks at her like she is everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that wouldn't have been within a judge's.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at the law. You're looking at what's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just wish it was in a different context.
Yeah. No, but I loved that scene too. It made me emo.
Yeah.
It really did.
I was like, why am I starting to cry right now?
Which I had this thought that I saw on an Instagram reel. So who knows if it's true? Don't come at me for fake news. But anyways, in the book, she had a scene where she was upset because she was Bodhi was calling Jinx Dada,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "What the heck? Why not call Mama?" And I saw something the other day, and this like made me so emotional. I was like tearing up. Most babies say Dada first and not Mama because Mama is considered a piece of them.
Oh,
It's not a new person.
Oh,
And so they say Dada because it's an entirely new person.
Oh,
Mama is an extension of them. And I was like, okay, so I didn't know why I was broken this morning, but now I know.
Now I get it.
Yeah, and so I just think that they're like such a beautiful thing too, of like having that little piece in there and like having that, I don't know, reel come into my feed. It was like kismet.
Yeah.
But yeah, another thing that was different, speaking of like the court and how all of that was handled and everything, was Leather and Lace.
Yeah.
So Leather and Lace were the wrestling duo that Jinx knew.
Yep.
And Lace just so happened to be a lawyer, which love that for her. She was so funny.
Yeah.
Loved her character and everything of that nature. But in the book, it was Menace and Mayhem.
Or Murder.
Murder and Mayhem.
Yep.
Never mind. Oh.
Yeah, it was.
And so it was completely different.
Yeah.
But I really liked that Lace was like there to be able to do that and handle it. I liked that change.
Yeah. Instead of wasn't just a random lawyer.
Yeah, it was a random lawyer.
Ward or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I liked him.
Get your shit together.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
I liked him as a character, but I liked the connection that Lace had to Margo's family.
Well, and I think that Lace was really great in the fact that she knew Jinx, she knew the situation, and so she was like, Jinx, you should have done better, and you knew it.
Yeah, like very hard on him, yeah.
And then I really liked how she looked at the mother and was like, you shouldn't have hit her. You need to apologize.
That in the court scene was cracking me up when the judge was like, you, grandmother, you hit that woman. And she was like, yeah. And he was like, why do you do this? You do this often? And she was like, no, only her.
Yeah, when she pointed to and just like let it live there, I was like, oh my God.
Funny. I like Cheyenne a lot in the show most of the time. Except for like the whole Vegas breakdown. She was like, I'm ashamed of you for OF, whatever. You worked at Hooters, girl.
Yeah. But with the court scene and with the mothers and everything like that, I thought that was funny because again, that didn't happen in the book. So it was delightful to have something a little bit new.
Yeah.
And I also loved that Cheyenne was there for her because Cheyenne was not there for her in the book.
No, not at
she
all.
Just completely dropped her off and was like, yeah.
She didn't punch his mom.
Well, she wasn't even there.
She wasn't gonna do that in the book.
It's not even like she was there.
No,
like she did not support her through this at all.
Yeah, so I really liked that.
Yeah,
about the show.
Yeah,
I loved their relationship too. Like how whenever they were at that dinner and Kenny was like, "Let's get pina coladas."
Yeah,
and then he was like, they looked at each other like, "Ooh," and then he was like, "Virgin." So, like, I just love Margo and Cheyenne's kind of like relationship in that sense, but. Yeah.
Well, and I thought even the magic show was a little aggressive too. Where he was like, "This is not funny." Where like there are some things that you would say like, "I didn't appreciate that. That wasn't respectful. Like, let's move on." But also, wasn't the magic show his idea?
Yep. Yeah. And then I liked when it was like he got really upset and Cheyenne opened the door and he was just sitting on the bed, like looking out the window. I was like, and then he finally came to and was like, that was a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I liked how he was just more self-aware in the show and his reaction to OF and everything besides calling CPS.
That was a lot more casual.
Yes.
Where he was just like, Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. And I was like, okay, not the best response, but could have been worse. So like we're getting there.
Much worse.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
I was like, okay.
He's yeah. I mean,
yeah. It's like when like people our grandparents' age only say something slightly racist rather than like full blown. You're like, oh, you're growing.
You're getting better.
Yeah, exactly.
Not perfect, but
no. We still have a lot to go.
Yeah,
but better.
exactly. One thing I wrote down in my notes while I was watching
notes.
the show, I said that dancing TikTok was a hard watch. What the?
Oh my god!
I could not like watching her dance. Like.
Are you talking about the neon one, like where they had like the?
Yeah, when she was the alien ghost.
Oh.
And they were like, I wonder if she knows music. Let's see how she reacts. And they played music and she started dancing. I was like, this is the equivalent of the singing scenes in the other movies we've watched because that was hard to watch.
Yeah, I found a lot of that to be hard to watch. And I didn't think it was going to be as hard as it was.
It was really difficult to watch. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other notes that I had. How did you feel about the first versus the third person in the book?
I love when authors like break the fourth wall of like, okay, you're a reader. I'm going to be taking you through this. But it did get confusing because it was like talking in first person and be like, no, this needs to be told in third person. And I'm like, can't we just cut that and be like, here's the story?
So I hated it.
Really?
I wrote down page 16, first versus third. That's how early on it bothered me.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like I recognize it very fast to be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I understand why she did it because like it's easier to talk about when it's in the third person, and like she had all these comments of like you personify with someone more in the third person or whatever, and I was like, I get it, but like it almost made me feel like at the end of this was going to be like a statement that was read at the custody battle or something, and that's why it was written like that. But I just feel like we didn't have a conclusion on that, so it was just like I feel like this is another thing about you that I just don't care about.
Yeah, we didn't need it.
No,
really didn't.
It didn't add anything for me.
So I like when authors break the fourth wall, like I said, but that was not done.
No.
It was like a half attempt.
And I almost wish it was like done as like this is how my consulting started.
Yeah.
Or this is like almost like an intro page, like an about me or something.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense to me.
Yeah.
But I just didn't think it, like that to me, it never made a full circle. It was disconnected.
I agree.
So I didn't love that. I also have a silly note. I don't remember when this was, but it must have been really early on in the book. But I thought this was the cutest thing. And I was like, I'm going to steal that for my child. Cheyenne used to be a really good mom. And she used to write the school lunch notes written by the cat.
Oh.
Their cat. Yeah. I thought that was the cutest thing ever. And then Cheyenne just, like, I hated her the rest of the book. I was like, what the heck happened?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you were such a good mom, like, interacting. The fact that you wanted to make a silly memory for your kid being like, every school lunch had a note, not from mom, but from the cat.
Yeah.
Being like, hey, give me, like, tater tots when you get home. Or,
like,
I'm
something so doing
like, that's so cute.
That's
you know what I mean?
Adorable, yeah.
And I was sitting there and I was like, damn, Cheyenne, you kind of suck.
What happened?
Yeah, exactly. But honorable mention, we didn't talk about this, but the whole walkthrough of like the procedure and how she found out and everything like that, I found that to be, I don't know, a little bit comforting, but also knowing that that's not everyone's experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I loved how the doctor handled it. I think the doctor was like, I'll give you some privacy. Like, do you know what you're looking for? Okay, no, we'll do a consultation. Like, he seemed very forgiving. And I think that in the current climate, I was surprised to see that. I thought it was going to be rough.
Yeah.
And I was like really grateful to see that. Now, I have never had that personally have to go through that. So I think that it could be different. But like, it made my heart happy that she was in a comfortable and safe place, you know?
Yeah. I agree.
But another honorable mention, I thought it was so funny, the iconic cover, it was portrayed in the show.
Yeah.
Because she was laying on Cheyenne's lap, like the couch and everything.
I didn't even
it was
realize
the same.
that.
Yeah. I thought that was fun.
That's a good nod. I liked the intro of the show.
On my notes, I have a hate it.
Because at first because Guava and I were like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then it's just like you see little things that are like, oh, that's that. Oh, that's why that's like that. I just like when things kind of like connect. But
I hated
first watch, I was like,
skipped it every time, and I was mad because when you skipped the intro, it still left like the last 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And I was like, Apple, I don't want to see this. I was so annoyed. I didn't like it. Didn't like the song they chose for it. I thought it was weird. I don't know. It just, again, it didn't feel like it connected. But I can acknowledge that as, you know, someone who has to figure out our intro and everything like that.
Yeah.
Intros are hard.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Personally, I would have been fine in my life never consuming that 8 times. Anyways.
Even just 10 seconds of it.
Yeah, seriously. I did find Margo to be a little ridiculous and a little bit more impulsive in the show, and maybe that was intentional, but I feel like in the book, once she became a mother and once she started to get like her routine down, she wasn't as impulsive. Like, for example, flushing her phone.
Yeah.
When like her friend said something stupid.
Yeah, that was
like, girl, you don't have the money for that.
Oh, and
didn't you think about that?
I didn't even like. Yeah, she wasn't like that in the book. Like when
she was very impulsive.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I remember, like, let's be very clear. I do not like Margo. I would hate to be her friend. Yeah. But also at the same time, I respect the growth and the development that she's had.
Yeah.
And I think that at the end of the book, maybe we would have been friends. But at the beginning of the book, I never would have been friends with you because you would have treated each Tuesday like it was like melting off the earth and everything was dying.
Yeah, I couldn't be friends with her.
No.
But her friend Becca, that was like a whole...
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how I feel about that.
I think that in the book, I remember her being super aggressive into like, put him with the foster family.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know where the energy was coming from. You know what I mean? Because if this was someone's decision and if they already decided and like they've already loved the thing, whatever it may be, like whether it's a baby, a pet, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's already a relationship established there. You should have said that when she was pregnant.
Yeah.
You should not say that now.
Why is this happening now? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought their relationship was just weird.
I thought it was
confusing.
whack that she thought it was okay to bring that up.
Yeah.
Of course she was going to get upset.
Yeah. How did you think that was going to end?
Exactly.
And then when she showed up, they didn't go to the party in the book.
No.
They
didn't make it.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, I had free time, whatever. Like, I'm here, spur of the moment. And just went off on her, like, immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a much bigger deal in the book than...
Because I also thought in the book that it was significant that Becca was a part of the group that outed her.
Yeah.
And doxed her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was really impactful.
Yeah.
Because it's like, not only is it someone random, it's people that I know at the party I was supposed to be at.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Which I have one more line, and I would love to say that this is an honorable mention, but it's not. It is, this was something, it was hard to watch, and I didn't know if I could get past it, but I had to be here today. Mm-hmm. Mother sow protects her cubs. Do you remember that? Do you remember that line?
Yeah.
I remember watching it and just being like, I can't live the life of the person that I was before I heard that ever again. It's gone.
I don't know, because Kenny said that. Right?
Yes.
In the diner.
And he was like, rawr.
Yeah.
And I was like,
how did Cheyenne get past that? Cheyenne, of all people.
Which also, why didn't you just divorce him? There was a part of me that was waiting for them to, like, the whole thing with CPS, they were going to find out that it was Kenny, because once she started to attend the court stuff, I was like, there's no way she was a part of it.
No.
And so in my head, I was like, oh, okay, I know what they're going to do. They're going to pair them up at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Hopeless romantic. And then we didn't even get that.
No.
The end was harpoon. Yeah.
I did not like how that ended.
Okay, so how would it have ended in your ideal scenario?
Not like that. I just feel like she needed more hope. Like, in the book, there is more hope. I agree that it shouldn't have been like she only got to that conclusion because of a man, basically, is what that is. Yeah. But I wish she had more of a plan she did have a plan to create a VIP account and show her poon.
Yeah.
But more than that, like, she was like, oh, I want to, like, get a foundation.
Yeah.
In the book. Like, oh, this is good. Like, let's get this started. But it was just kind of like, oh, VIP.
Yeah.
See my poon.
Yeah. I didn't like it either. But I'm going to be honest. I know I'm jumping the gun here. My rating was very low for this.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy a lot of this.
Yeah.
And so I think that was kind of my biggest takeaway was I wanted better, but also I didn't expect better because I didn't like it the whole entire time.
Yeah. The only, like, Susie and Jing were the only, like, redeemable characters for me. Like, Margo got on my nerves half the time. Her roommates, Becca, Cheyenne, and Kenny in the book.
Yeah, they really sucked.
The show was definitely easier for me because it was kind of different.
Okay. So with that, what was your rating on the book? What was your rating on the show? What would you say was better?
So my rating on the book would probably be at most 3 stars. And the show, I would say it's a little higher. It's just because Nick Offerman. Like, I can't... If he wasn't in it, I think I would give it also a 3. I think Nick Offerman being Jinx really boosted the... So I'd say maybe like a 3.75 for the show.
Michelle Pfeiffer too.
Yes.
She killed it.
Yes.
I really liked her as... I haven't seen her in a while. I think that's a me problem, not a her problem.
Yeah.
But I really liked seeing her again. I haven't seen her in a while. Yeah. I gave the book 2.5.
Fair.
And I gave the 0.5 because there were aspects of the book that kept me coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give them that. Like, for example, I did enjoy the custody battle. I did enjoy the psyche vow. Like, all of the detail that they went into there. I did enjoy that. Yeah. I also think that I finished the book, so I have to give it a little bit better than nothing.
Yeah,
I would not read it again. The comment that I kept wanting to say in the earlier piece of this podcast, but I didn't say it earlier, was this is your type Z friend that you go to get coffee with, and they tell you this whole story, and you're sitting there like, I could have spot 10 different times you could have pivoted, and you didn't,
and half of this wouldn't have happened.
Yes.
If you just...
And then at the end of the coffee, they're going to be like, so how are you? And you're like, I have to go.
Yeah.
Like, we're out of time, honey.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. That's what it gave me.
Yeah.
And so I was just very frustrated the whole entire time, where I was like, no, you kind of suck.
Yeah.
You know? But anyways, I did not like it. I gave the show probably 3 stars. I would recommend the show over the book. However, I would not recommend either.
I just...
Sorry. I did not.
Again, Nick Offerman. That's my...
I think if someone was a big fan of his, I think I would tell them to watch a compilation of his moments in that show. I would not tell them to watch the show.
I don't...
Because I loved him as Jinx.
Yes.
I truly did. However, it was just tough storyline, and it was... Yeah.
I mean, if you need a show and you're, like, kind of interested, then yeah, but, like, I'm not gonna be like, you have to watch this.
No.
Definitely
I probably would not recommend it to anybody.
Yeah.
And I know I feel kind of strong about that, but that's how I felt about this book as a whole. It was very hard for me to get through.
Yeah.
And because I was giving you the copy knowing that you hadn't read it yet, very hard for me not to look at you and tell you, like, good luck.
I'm glad you didn't say that, because I would have dreaded that.
Yeah. I told Guava while you were in the bathroom at one point, I looked at Guava and I was like, listen, this is the worst book that we have read together. And she doesn't know it yet. And I can't tell her yet. But I really wanna.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you. That sucked. Like,
yeah. It was not great.
And I gotta throw out there, I know that Miss Thorpe. I know that she has a bunch of other books that apparently are great. I will not read them.
I thought this was her only book, because
no she debuted with another novel.
In my opinion, she tries to be too quirky. Like, that's like, she's just trying way too hard to be that way. You can tell in the writing, like, some of the things she says. And I'm like, when I was reading this, I was like, I am never going to want to read. I can't stand people like that.
The Knockout Queen.
No,
the
thanks.
Knockout Queen was something that apparently people are really loving.
No. Okay.
However, I just don't think I can read another novel by her. It reminds me of what Peach says. Peach says you will never be able to read every single book in your lifetime.
Yeah.
So DNF it. And
so,
yeah,
if you were looking for a sign, this is it.
Yeah. Don't read it.
Don't finish. Don't start.
Don't continue.
Just don't.
Just go to something that's going to make you, like, kick your feet and giggle or something, or touch your heart in a different way, or be so crazy mind-blowing and plot twisty that you're like, what is life?
That your heart rate spikes.
Yeah. But anyways, I mean, any other last comments?
No, put her to rest.
Yeah, I agree. Case closed.
Rest in peace.
Anyways,
God.
But as always, thank you for joining us. If you liked our podcast, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. We also have a Goodreads account for following along on what we're reading, planning to read, and what we have mentioned in this podcast. As we are a new podcast, shameless plug, we would love it if you could share this episode with one person. This might be your reading buddy, or the person that read this book that can't stop talking about how much it sucks, because we agree. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.